Only heard one speech. Only heard one. I call the honourable member Mike Saber.
Yes, there has only been one call, as I recall. Sir, yes, the summary offences, possession of handheld laser. I think what the member's suggesting there, Mr Chair, is she would also like to take a call, and so I'll be very, very interested to hear the member's call. So, sir, clause 4, and I just want to pick up where the previous member, Tim McIndoe, left off, because this clause 4 is the meat of this this bill, sir.
That's right.
And it shows us that it will be inserted in section 13A of the Summary Offences Act, sir, right after possession of a knife. And there are distinct similarities between what this bill sets out to achieve and what the possession of a knife does. And the crux of it rests on having a reasonable excuse, sir. And why it is that someone would be in possession of it, sir. So it's not so much. She's good, isn't she? It's not so much, sir, that. Well, that's right. It's not so much, sir, that just having possession would constitute an offence, but it's the context in which they may then go on to use that. Now, if we look at, say, with possession of a knife, sir, what we know is the length of a knife it has no bearing on whether or not the person is unlawful possession. And one part of this clause that we deal with was an area of contention that the committee dealt with at some length, was the difference between a high-powered laser or a handheld high-powered laser, as the bill has been amended to, and the possession of a, what was it, Dr Calder?
Well, there are a number of differences where I can touch on.
That's right, you can touch upon that. But, sir, what the committee determined was that a high-powered laser was where that line should be drawn, the possession of that. And there are a number of lower-powered lasers which, while they can still project laser light, if you like, for a significant distance, the decision of the committee was that 1 milliwatt was the line that needed to be crossed, sir. So when we look at the possession of a knife and the similarities of it, if someone is to be in possession of a knife for in an unlawful purpose, the length of the knife has no bearing on whether or not that would constitute satisfying the ingredients of the offence. However, in this particular bill, when we're dealing with handheld lasers, there is a distinctive difference, and that difference is that it must be 1 milliwatt or greater or higher, and Dr Calder will be able to inform interested members of the House. I believe particularly Marion Street would be very interested to hear Dr Calder explain just how far some of these laser lights can project and the dangers that they present to. Sure, I mean, we've heard my colleague here, Chris Ockenville, talk about rugby players. I don't know, but it was 60 miles, and I know that he trifled with us here, asked us how many kilometres it could be, and then gave us an answer that it was 60 miles, which of course trumped us all because we just weren't expecting that to come out. But the reality is, sir, is that if we look at 60 miles, that'd be somewhere in the order of 100 kilometres. Is that about that? That is a long way up in the air in terms of the ability for someone to sit near an airport and project a handheld laser at an aircraft. And when it hits the inside of the aircraft, it reflects. When it hits the windshield of the, if we call it a windshield on an aircraft, I'm not sure what it's called, but it certainly stops a lot of wind coming in. You don't have to be an ex-police officer to know that. That's right. That's right. I am an ex-police officer. But one thing's for sure, sir, is it completely blinds the pilot or the driver, or in some cases a sportsman on a rugby field. But if a high-powered laser can reach into the sky up to 100 kilometres, that is a dangerous weapon used in the wrong context, sir. And one thing's for sure is what this bill is ultimately dealing with is that those who would take something that has a legitimate use and purpose and use it for an illicit purpose, which is dangerous. And if we look at nefarious, I think, is that Latin? I'm not sure. Sounds good. I'll go with it. Furry edges, absolutely. But, sir, the point is that we've seen in foreign lands actually these things being used in a warring context, sir. One thing's for sure. Chair.
I call the honourable member Cam Calder.
Look, I will take a call. I have been asked questions from my colleagues about some of the thinking behind this. I want to commend the